Hi, my name is Joanne Heeps and I am completing the Masters of Education. Welcome to my presentation for Assessment 1 for my intended professional inquiry. I am an employee at Wodonga TAFE in the shared role of Vocational Education Teacher and Professional Development Coordinator for teaching staff. My intended professional inquiry will focus on the development of knowledge gained from exploring and analysing VET teachers' experiences of participating in a reflective practice program for professional development purposes. I began my own VET teaching career 14 years ago, completing the Graduate Diploma of Vocational Education and Training. This began my journey of completing postgraduate studies in VET and developed an interest in reflective practice after I was introduced to the textbook How to Become a Critically Reflective Teacher by Stephen Brookfield. As part of my early VET teaching studies, I participated in reflective practice that I believe has instilled in me the purpose to reflect and be reflexive to my teaching practice. From time to time, I personally reflect on my teaching. What could I have done differently or better or easier? Or why did the student not understand a topic or activity? Or why has a particular student not engaged in a group activity? My passion is in developing other teachers in the VET sector, and my position at Wodonga TAFE allows me to engage with new teachers starting in the VET sector or existing teachers needing to revisit a particular concept or skill or build new knowledge and abilities. My interest in the topic of reflective practice is driven by my involvement to establish a professional development framework to support quality learning activities and opportunities for VET teaching staff in my workplace. This rationale for this inquiry, therefore, has been developed from the need to identify the characteristics of a suitable reflective practice program that could be implemented long-term to support VET teaching staff. Within the VET sector, there is no method of prescribed professional development activities other than participating in professional development activities for training and assessment practice and competency-based training. I believe many teachers reflect on their practice informally and make changes or adapt to different situations, learners' needs, and yet we don't capture this information as supporting our professional development. Within the VET sector, teachers are not required to be registered with a national or state body, unlike other teaching sectors. Therefore, professional development that includes reflective practice is rarely an activity that VET teachers engage with. However, VET teachers, like other sectors, need to be equipped with the required skills to encourage creative learning, learn new technology, try different teaching methods, or design and develop resources, or provide for inclusive and engaging teaching and learning environments. The awareness to develop these skills, abilities, and knowledge may not be as obvious if we do not reflect on our own practice. The aim of this inquiry will be the creation of new knowledge that I hope will contribute to and support effective professional development activities for VET teachers. The inquiry will assist in broadening my understanding of reflective practice and continue to challenge my learning as a professional, particularly when I need to develop skills and knowledge for my teachings. I believe effective teaching can be informed by personal knowledge, trial and error, reflection on practice, and conversations with my teaching colleagues. To be a teacher means to observe students and study classroom interactions or explore ways of teaching, and to build conceptual frameworks that can guide my teaching practice. The aim of this inquiry will seek to answer the proposed following question. The overarching question I have decided upon is, does reflective practice as an activity for the professional development engage TAFE teachers to be reflective of their teaching practice? This question may need further wordsmithing to ensure the question is clear and is central to the inquiry project. Below are sub-questions that I hope will narrow and broaden the focus of the overarching question. What challenges teachers to engage with reflective practice? Does reflective practice motivate teachers to evaluate critically their teaching practice? Do teachers recognise the benefits of reflective practice in relation to their own work role? Do teachers seek to make changes from reflecting on their teaching practice? And how does reflective practice improve the learning experience for students? According to Agee 2008, the research sub-questions are very important. While allowing for discovery, they also give direction to the particular kinds of data I would need to collect and help to answer the main question. I have considered the following criteria as a starting point in designing the reflective practice program that will provide evidence for analysis as my professional inquiry project. Teachers who participate in the program will be provided program information such as project overview, literature and resources on reflective practice, and a guide for reflective practice. I have identified that a possible number of participants would be suited to between 2 to 4 people. I've identified perhaps a period of 6 to 8 weeks would be sufficient time frame to collect evidence. The collection of data from participants would possibly be weekly and again on completion. There could also be other possible collection points, including midway through for updates or reviews, or just checking in with participants. And at the final point of the program, I would conduct interviews with the participants to collect further feedback. And finally, analyse the data. The literature review, as I understand, should inform any readers of the particular questions that I have proposed and demonstrate my awareness of the research topic and identify any gaps in the current literature. I have so far identified a range of literature sources that I intend will inform and shape my line of inquiry. Following on from the literature sources that will be used to inform my research, I've included a sample of some of the more relevant literature that I will draw upon throughout this inquiry. This includes the topics of the vet sector and general teaching practice in general. I have also included some of the gaps in the literature that I have identified. Issues with sourcing literature has included the availability of literature from within the current perspectives of vet teaching or professional development or reflective practice. Literature can become outdated or not reflective of what is current, and considering the large volume of literature that is available across other teaching sectors, there is an apparent much smaller volume available for published literature on the vet sector. This at times has been difficult to narrow the required perspectives to the overall topic for this research task. At this stage, I am considering the inquiry design that will allow data to be collected and analysed equally supporting my line of inquiry. The research design approach for this study I will most likely include will be framed by a qualitative research approach, as qualitative research seeks to guide the experience and learn from others, and is an approach for exploring and understanding the meaning of individuals or groups. The inquiry design methods intended at this point may be suitable, could include case study or action research or grounded theory. The intended research method to collect data will be guided by the final research design method chosen to support the collection of data from the project participants. I have identified possible data collection methods that may include the following: participant questionnaires at different stages of the project, participant semi-structured and face-to-face interviews, and researchers' own notes and reflections. I understand the purpose of qualitative analysis is to interpret the data and the resulting themes and to facilitate an understanding of the phenomenon being studied. I've identified possible method to analyse the data may include initial reading of all data sources, review the data from questionnaires and interviews, check other sources and notes made during the interviews. The data analysis at this stage may include coding and theming using a specific method. I've considered possible methods to invite teachers to participate in learning about the reflective practice program and who may want to participate in the overall project. This would include an email invitation to our teaching staff, inviting them to come along to an overview of the inquiry in the reflective practice program. I've also considered a criteria for selection into the reflective practice program that may include a small number of participants from 2 to 4 people, must be teaching staff with the current group of learners, and who would be able to partake in interviews and answer questions as part of the reflective practice program. I have considered possible limitations and ethical considerations for this professional inquiry project may include to seek approval from appropriate management team for teachers to participate, disclose the purpose of the study to participants, provide open and honest communications about the project to participants at all times. During the data collection, ensure that procedures, timelines and project details are communicated to the participant. Be considerate of time and availability of teaching staff. Once data has been collected, I must ensure that there is a procedure for reporting, sharing and the storage of data. My intended professional inquiry will be a reflective practice program for VET teachers. I have an interest in developing the professional knowledge of other VET teachers, and reflective practice as a professional development is not common for many VET teachers. Professional development for VET teachers is also not prescribed. Therefore, there is currently a need to ensure teachers have access to quality programs to develop their skills and knowledge. The literature available for VET teaching practice is limited. Therefore, sourcing literature to inform this inquiry will be sourced from a range of general teaching practices. The inquiry designed to support this research will be further researched and developed. Considerations and actions that I have going forward. I will await feedback from this presentation. I will also engage in providing feedback and to support others completing this same course. I will continue to read the literature I have sourced, and I will continue to focus and draw upon the questions that I have proposed. I will also seek further guidance about this topic from my fellow teachers and other people within the VET sector. And I will consider the project scope to ensure that it will be achievable. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and I welcome your feedback and comments. Thank you.